I do. I want a fully circumcised penis.
Have you seen one before?
An uncircumcised? Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think? Do you like them? Do you dislike them?
They're fine both ways.
Oh, really? It doesn't matter to you at
Yeah,
all? Oh, okay. Have you experienced an uncircumcised dick before?
I've seen it and I passed on it.
Oh, really?
I did.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen somebody who wasn't circumcised?
I have.
And by the look on your face, you didn't care for it. I think makes
It
you
just
go,
looks odd to me. Then when they're circumcised, it just looks odd.
Have you ever seen an uncircumcised man?
Yes.
What are your feelings about that?
It looks odd considering I've only, at that point in time, I had only ever seen circumcised penis. It was odd for me just because the societal norm up until then had been, hey, you've been circumcised.
So would you prefer to have circumcised over uncircumcised?
Yes.
And your overall feeling is just because it's not what you normally encounter?
Yes. If I guess if I had been more familiar with it, then I might not have reacted so like, oh, you know, like, oh.
You didn't actually do that when he took his pants off, did you?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I made the look. I don't think I said oh, but I was like,
Oh, okay.
I think that circumcision is something that doesn't need to be done.
Well, how do you feel about uncircumcised dudes?
You know what? I think it's strange to cut that off. I mean, you have
I think
a baby.
it's almost barbaric, really.
Really, you have a baby, you're like, oh, it's a boy, let's cut this off.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like because I've been like culturally like bred and used to seeing a cut one, I prefer it. I prefer the feeling of it. I feel like if I had a son, I would totally cut him because, I mean, guys, a lot of times they come too fast anyways, so it's like people say, oh, it's going to cut off some nerves and like disturb their pleasure. Well, sometimes the pleasure needs to be curbed a little bit because dudes get kind of excited and like I want a guy who can like go for a long time.
So you would like to numb him a little bit just to extend the pleasure.
Oh, definitely.
Have you seen an uncircumcised guy in person?
No.
You have an
I
opinion?
mean, just from what I hear of them and how they're described, definitely cut that boy.
Yes.
I do. I want a fully circumcised penis.
Have you ever seen an uncircumcised guy before? You have not. What do you think your feelings would be if you ever seen one?
I'd be a little put back.
What do you think about circumcised versus uncircumcised?
I like circumcised.
Have you seen uncircumcised?
No.
Have you ever experienced? Well, if you haven't seen it, then you probably haven't experienced
it.
And what is your feelings on cut versus uncut?
See, I've never actually experienced uncut before.
So you would prefer cut over uncut?
Yes.
Oh, have you had an uncircumcised guy?
No.
Have you seen one?
No, and I don't plan on having that.
What do you think would be so different about a circumcised guy? Or an uncircumcised guy?
I don't know.
It's just different?
I think so.
Have you actually seen an uncut and uncircumcised guy?
No.
No. No, you wouldn't want to. That's something that you don't want to see at all.
No.
Okay.
It goes back to that whole germ thing, like it's just...
Oh, it just doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right.
Have you been with an uncircumcised man?
No, and I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I don't like the way that it... I just
Have
don't
you
like
seen
the
one
way-
before?
I've never seen one in real life, but I don't think that I would enjoy it.
What do you think is
I
the
just
difference?
I don't know. I don't like the look of it.
And what do you think about cut versus uncut?
You know, this is kind of embarrassing. I've never seen an uncircumcised penis. Ever.
Oh, have you ever had an uncircumcised guy?
No.
No? Have you ever seen one?
No.
Are you afraid to see one?
A little.
A little?
I would be interested in seeing one.
I'll try anything once.
Anything once.
Anything once. Yeah.
So, what do you think the ultimate difference would be?
See, that's the thing. I
Don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, it's just skin, right?
Yeah. No, it's just a little extra skin.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen an uncut man?
No, I haven't.
No? Would you be interested in seeing one? I wish I had one to show you. Would you think that that would matter to you? If they were cut or not?
I'm not really sure. I've heard some of my friends say that they almost feel better. Huh?
Would you like to try one just to see?
I'd
what
probably
it would
try
be like?
one. I'd be curious.
It's just a different flavor. See what it tastes like. Have you ever seen an uncut guy?
Yes.
And what are your thoughts?
That doesn't bother me at all. Sometimes it feels better, depending on the guy.
So you notice a difference in the feeling?
Yes.
But as far as the way it looks, you don't have a preference one way or the other?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
And have I asked you if you've ever seen somebody who was uncut?
Yes.
And what are your feelings about that?
You know, my first boyfriend was, so like I don't really have any. I have nothing. I've heard they're more sensitive, so.
For them or for you?
For them, which like maybe is better for me sometimes. I don't know. I mean, or worse.
What do you think about
blowjobs? Better. Sex maybe worse. I don't know.
You want them to hurry up during certain occasions,
yeah.
but not others. And what do you think about the overall look? Like, do you like seeing, not his overall look, but the overall look of like an uncut versus cut? Do you like being able to see the head?
I mean, a penis is a penis to me, so.
Oh, really? So it doesn't really matter?
You know, like, no offense to you or any guy, but, you know, penises are kind of weird looking.
Oh,
you know? So, like, it doesn't really matter to me if they're circumcised or not, so.
They all just kind of look weird.
Yeah, they're all just kind of, I mean, hot, attractive, but, you know.
Have you seen the uncircumcised?
Yes.
And what's your objection to them?
They're just gross.
They
I just can't do it. It grosses me out. I don't know. It's like a pet peeve. I can't mess with it.
And what don't you like about it? It just looks weird. Oh, so you like seeing the head?
Yeah.
Is that like a turn on to you?
Yeah.
When
It
you
just
see
seems
it?
so natural to see.
It seems more natural than not.
I like circumcised. I don't really care for uncircumcised.
Have you seen uncircumcised?
Mm-hmm.
And what were your thoughts?
Ew.
The guys I've been with have all been like
cut.
Yeah, and just like average white guys.
Mhm.
I've never, Asians or black guys, anything like that. So I feel like I kind of like don't really know what I'm talking about.
I'm not attracted to guys that aren't circumcised.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Have you seen an uncircumcised?
I have.
Have you got to play with one before?
Yes.
And what's the turn off there?
I guess when it's on hard, it's not so different.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess for me, the normal, and it's a turn on, is for the tip of a guy's dick to kind of look like a mushroom head or a fireman's hat.
I prefer circumcised.
You do. Have you ever had a non-circumcised?
I've looked at them and decided not to.
Really?
I just think that they look weird, and I
What's
don't.
weird about it?
Having to pull it back.
On that specific note, I prefer one cut.
And why do you like them the other way?
Well, I mean, my first boyfriend ever,
Mm-hmm.
his was uncut, and I dated him for like 2 years. So I got used to it, and I knew how to deal with it uncut. And then when I came across a cut dick, I had no idea what to do.
And have you ever seen an uncircumcised man?
Yes, it wasn't my cup of tea, but
And why would you say that?
That's
What
just,
was
I think
wrong?
it's just since it's out of the ordinary for me. But again, it's not something that I would, be disgusted by. It's just not what I particularly care for.
And have you had a sexual encounter with somebody who's uncircumcised?
Mm-hmm.
How was that physically? Was it better, the same, indifferent?
Well, it was. That's what's odd, is that when I actually look at it, it wasn't something that I really wanted, but I didn't notice a difference, actually.
Have you seen an uncircumcised dick? And what are your thoughts?
It's kind of weird.
What's weird about it?
Because it just has like that skin, and it's like so, I don't know, it's just weird.
So you actually want to be able to see the head?
Yeah.
It does it feel right seeing the head? I mean, like it makes.
It makes me feel like you're not a baby.
Oh.
Kinda, I guess.
What do you think about uncut guys? Have you seen somebody who's uncut?
Yeah, I actually was with someone before that was uncut, and it was kind of different. I was like, do I use it the same way?
What were your feelings? Is it? Do you like it, or is it indifferent? Or
It's indifferent. If I had a choice, I'd go with a cut guy than an uncut guy, but it's not a deal breaker.
Have you been with an uncircumcised man?
Yes.
And how was that for you?
I did not enjoy it.
Really?
It made me feel very, out of my element, I guess.
Used to.
I think it's just something, I'm still not used to, and it would require, more time, I guess.
I just find it unattractive to have that piece of skin on top. That's all.
So it's what you're used to, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen an uncircumcised guy?
I have, yeah.
And what are your feelings?
I don't really care.
You're indifferent?
Yeah.
So it doesn't. You're not bothered by the fact that you can't see the head of the dick.
Well, you can sometimes.
Well, when they're aroused, you can. But like when they're just hanging there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Unless their dick is like hard, like it like folds in on itself and it's like a little extra flap of skin.
I've only seen them hard.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess all it really matters if it's hard because like we're not gonna like fuck when it's soft. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, whenever you see it, you're going to be able to see the head.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters to you. You don't care either way.
I don't care.
Have you seen both?
Yeah, I've seen both.
And like, is there a difference at all to you?
No, it didn't make any difference. What does that mean though? Like when it not hard?
It's more pronounced when it's not hard.
Of course.
It like pulls into the skin more.
Well, that thing's supposed to happen. Because when it get hard, it scratches skin out, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's just more skin to like scrunch into.
I don't care.
So
let it go.
Yeah. And have you ever seen an uncircumcised dick?
Yes, actually my ex was uncircumcised.
And what were your feelings about that?
Honestly, I can't tell the difference when I'm having sex. I mean, to me, I think it's just visual preference, I guess. I can't really tell the difference.
I don't think there is a difference, but that's what I'm trying to like drive home.
Right.
It's all just a visual thing.
I like the look of circumcised more.
So you like being able to see the head at all times?
Yes.
Okay. Do you prefer circumcised or uncircumcised?
Circumcised.
And what are you opposed to as far as the uncircumcised?
Never been with an uncircumcised, but just
have you seen
for
one?
Sanitary reasons, if they're not clean. I have not seen one in person. It's unattractive to me.
Unattractive?
Yeah.
And what's the turn off there? You just can't see it?
It's just the sanitary. It's gotta be clean.
So you think it's dirty just by
Yeah,
looking at
just
it?
in there.
As long as it's circumcised.
Oh, you don't like
No.
uncut. What's so wrong about uncut? Is it just too much skin?
Dirty. I think it's dirty. Like they need to I don't know, they need to like pull it back and like wash it.
Have you seen an uncircumcised penis?
Yeah.
And what are your feelings about that?
I don't really care for it. But I guess it's kind of like what I'm not used to it. So maybe if it was something I encountered all the time, I would feel differently. But I always think like it might be a little dirty or something if they don't clean properly.
I've been with a lot of like foreign dudes where they're just not cut, so I like that too.
On the not cut, do you prefer them to be uncircumcised?
It doesn't matter. But
Not at all.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like you have to do different things with each type of dick.
Have you seen anybody? Like on the internet, in porn? No, so you've never even actually seen a picture of
I've
one.
never actually seen one.
Oh wow. I would
I'm sheltered.
So what do you think about circumcision?
I'm more for circumcised. I have never seen an uncircumcised. In a magazine, I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I definitely know why I don't go for that. Because it's just, like, and plus there's a cleanliness factor that plays into that if they're not very good on their hygiene, because you got to pull back that skin and clean, and, like, after sex, you want to make sure you're really clean because funk build up and stuff. But, like, it's too creepy for me.
I agree with you, but in the same token,
It's okay.
We have like a giant ass hole that people put shit in, so we have like cleanliness issues too. That we.
But
have
our body naturally cleans it. That's why we have periods.
Well, it doesn't have to be giant.
That's why we have periods and stuff, because our body sheds those linings.
I mean, there's a lot of folds in there that you have to keep clean, so a man can
Not as bad as the
technically
lips and that.
keep himself clean too.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I don't like the way it looks. Looks like an elephant trunk.